Hello guys, Lufa here. Welcome to the channel. I just want to make a quick build video for a Warden tank, but this tank is not for trials, just so you know. This tank is for pledges mainly. It can work for veteran trials, but it won't be as effective as a DK. So let's just start with the attributes and the race. Race is Imperial. Imperial is simply best for tanking. Argonian can work as well, but the problem is the sustain is not a huge problem while tanking. So Argonian has obviously better sustain, but as you get better in fights, you will have less sustain issues, and you will start worrying more about your stats. And Imperial has the highest stat pool. So what you do is you just like you go for maximum stats because your sustain is already good enough. Okay, and the maximum stamina is actually important for a Warden tank because of the reasons I will tell. We have all points in health. We have 1.4k magical recovery, and this goes up to 1.8. So that's really high amount of magical recovery right there. And we have some weapon and spell critical as well. I'm gonna tell you why. We have 24.3k physical, 27.3k spell resistance. We're running the Atomic Mundus. Atomic gives a bit more than it should, but I'm gonna tell you why. Let's see. We are running the 3-stat food. This one. Because as I said, maximum stamina and maximum magic is actually important for this build, and the 3-stat potions, because I'm not running the balance with this build. The balance is not a part of this build. Okay, let's see. We are a stage 4 vampire. You really want to be vampire. It's very good for the recovery, for the undead passive, for the skills. It's just very good. Okay, let's just jump to skills. The first skill we have is Pierce Armor. It applies it's a melee taunt that lasts for 15 seconds and applies the best debuffs in the game for 12 seconds. So make sure you apply this every 12 seconds or 10 or 11. Just make sure those major fracture and major breach are 100% uptime. Second skill we have is Heroic Slash. This is mainly for the minor maim and minor heroism, not the damage, obviously. You can apply minor maim on the bosses. So if you hit a boss with Heroic Slash, it will say right here, the target is immune to this effect. The boss is not immune to the minor maim, it's immune to the movement speed reduction. That's why it says that thing right there. So minor maim does work on bosses, so you want to keep this up all the time. And you get the minor heroism for 9 seconds, so as soon as the minor heroism is gone, you want to do Heroic Slash again. The third skill we have is the Leeching Vines. Okay, this is a sustained skill actually, but it does nice amount of healing as well, and it does have a nice debuff effect on it. So you do this on whoever, right? When I do this, when someone attacks me, whatever, doesn't matter. When someone attacks me, I apply minor lifesteal on them. So this is actually a AoE minor lifesteal, because you should keep this on every member of your party, including yourself. This will give you this. So this is the main reason we're using the Leeching Vines skill. When healing an ally with a green balance ability, gain 250 magicka or stamina, restores your lowest resource pool. This effect can occur once every 1 second. So if you put this on every member possible, you will get higher uptime on Nature's Gift, because if you just put it on yourself, it's not guaranteed that you'll be getting hit every 1 second. But if you put this on as much people as you can, you will proc this on cooldown. So the Nature's Gift will give you more resources. And you get to heal people as well. Because when I cast this, I can put it on someone else too. You know? And the one on me will stay. That's why it's so good. Okay, the third skill we have is the Bull Netch. This recovers stamina over time, like 4k stamina over 25 seconds. And we're using, and this gives us weapon and spell damage, which is really important, because as our ultimate scales with the scales with our highest stat. So that means this thing scales with our stamina and weapon damage. That means Bull Netch will give us weapon damage, and we have a decent amount of stamina, so this thing will heal shit ton. And you'll see, like, this thing just amazing. So this gives us weapon and spell damage, so we get to heal more. And the fifth spot is a flex spot. And by the way, when you use Bull Netch on your bar, you get the Savage Beast skill ability. This activating an animal companion ability grants 4 ultimate. This effect has a cooldown of 8 seconds. So this thing has 27 seconds duration. When you see it, it has a, like when I cast this, you see 27 seconds and counting down. When I see that 19 or 18, I cast it again to get 4 ultimate. So that's really good. And we have the Flourish passive. Increases your magic and stamina recovery by 12%. If an animal companion ability is slotted, this is an animal companion ability, so we get 12% magic recovery from this. There is not much else, so for the passives, by the way, take all the class passives, take all one and shield, take this and this, all heavy armor, supernatural recovery, undead and unnatural resistance. Get this. Mage Guild, not so necessary, but actually if you get this, that might be good, because you'll see why. And we have the Undaunted passives. We have, actually, why did not I take this? Yeah, you need this as well. You need all your racial passives and the medicinal use from alchemy. Anyways, back to skills. Or oh, by the way, the flex spot. Okay, there are some skills you can use here. The first one is this. So this thing basically debuffs everything. So when I cast this, you'll see some bugs coming out of ground, and those bugs apply the major and major breach and major fracture to whoever it hits. So you do them for AoE, and it does some damage, not bad. But there are some better things to use there. You can use the green Lotus. This is actually a nice skill, because when you have this, it will give this nice look on your sword, for example. But the main thing is we want this for the major savagery, because as I said, your ultimate skills with your highest stat, and you'll get, as you see, 35% crit, which will make your healing a lot better. So this tank actually heals crap ton. So you might want to boost your healing. The other skill is Shimmering Shield. This is a very nice skill, but only use this if there's projectiles. As you see, spin a shield of ice around you to absorb projectiles. It doesn't say magic projectiles or anything. If there's archer, a simple archer in the combat, use this skill and get the major heroism. It's like in every trash pack in this game has some kind of projectile going on, and this skill will give you a lot of ultimate regeneration. So, and it's like almost free, like, because each absorb restores almost 600 magicka. So that's really good right there. Let's see, the other passive skill you can use is absorb magic. This is not a very good skill to use. Like, it's just a passive skill, you know. It just reduces your block of cost by 8%, which is not so good. You'll see why, because of diminishing returns. And the other thing is you block for more, and it's not so good because of diminishing returns. So anyways, you get what I mean. The other skill we have is I would say Invigorating Drain, but this is PTS, as you see from the gold, and the vampire skills are not leveled. I would use Invigorating Drain, but it's just not there. The Invigorating Drain is better than this, much better than this, because this thing gives you what, 12? This thing gives you 12 ultimate for every major heroism buff, but the Invigorating Drain, you'll cast it once and you get 15 ultimate per one cast without any condition. You just have to drop your block and do the drain thing. And there is a misunderstanding with the Bull Netch. I want to clear that. So you see that purple shield icon in front of me, right? If a skill drops your block, it disappears. People think Bull Netch drops your block. Just look at it. Do you see that shield icon going away? No. That means your drop is not blocking. I have never experienced something like, I'm mostly blocking with this build because I invest heavily into block cost, and the sustain is not as good as DK, so you see, I didn't experience my block dropping because I cast the Netch. Anyways, let's see. The other skill is Started Entropy. This gives you some health. Not bad, like 2k something. Meh. The other skill, let's see, the Vigor. This thing will make you heal crap ton. You have the Leeching Vines, you have your ultimate, you have this skill, we're gonna talk about them. And the Vigor is just very good. The other skill is Efficient Purge. This skill is very necessary in some fights. You know what it does. It costs crap ton, but it's nice, not bad. The other skill you can use is Guard. Put this here and this here, this here. See, and this will give you 10% more magicka recovery, and you buff someone with this. If there's a magicka DD in your group, use this on them and you'll buff their damage. And let's see how much recovery we have with this thing. 1.9. That's not bad at all. so it buffs our magic recovery by a lot. So anyways, let's put this together. But the main skill you want to use is Invigorating Drain, but fuck away, mate. Okay. Well, there isn't much else to use. Let's just keep this one here, yeah. Okay. The ultimate, Enchanted Forest. Instantly swell a healing forest around you and an ally in the area, restoring 6000 health. The force continues to heal you and all allies in the area for 3k every 1 second over 6 seconds. Gain 20 ultimate if healing an ally under 50% health. So, you drop this, right? It has a beautiful animation as well. It's kinda very big, but you still get to heal people with it, so that's nice. Okay, the enchanted one is better because oh my god, I didn't talk about the gear. And anyways, we're gonna go there. We're using War Machine, and this thing, you want to get the most ultimate you can. So Enchanted Forest is obviously the better pick because 20 ultimate when you heal an ally. It procs only once, by the way, so don't get any crazy ideas. So you get 20 ultimate instantly, like almost instantly. Every time I use this ultimate, it always procced the 20 ultimate bonus, so that's really good. So it heals shit ton. It procs the Nature's Gift. Because it heals every second, it's guaranteed proc right here. So that's really good right there. Let's see. Healing done thing is not so important. Anyways, you know what it does. It heals shit ton, procs the War Machine. So yeah. The other skill we have is Enchanted Growth. This is for our Magicka and stamina recovery for everyone in the group, but look at the animation. You see that little cone AoE? You need to aim it very nicely or it won't hit. So it gives us Magicka recovery, which is good for ourselves, and stamina and Magicka recovery for DDs and healers. The minor intellect and minor endurance is not easily achievable in this game, and Warden has an AoE of it, so that's really good, and it lasts for 20 seconds. That's very good right there, and it's a kind of a burst heal. It scales with your Magicka, and as you see we have 17k Magicka. It's not bad. It heals for a nice amount. Let's see. The next skill we have is the Frozen Device. This is not even good, like not even half as good as Chains, but still something. The good thing about Frozen Device is the major maim on it. When you pull something, it applies the major maim and they do really low damage. So why is it worse than Chains? Chain is instant. You cast this and now it pulls. As long as you don't see this, it will not pull. So you drop this on the ground, you wait for it to pull the target to you, then you can pull the next target. With Chains, while this is preparing itself, I can chain 3 things. Chains is much faster. So yeah, you know why Frozen Device is not nearly as good as Chains. But still good for stacking things up, like better than nothing, right? The third skill we have is the Inner Rage, the Magicka morph. Don't get the stamina one. It's just the range taunt. The fourth skill we have is the Gripping Shards. This is basically Chains. Not Chains, sorry, Talons. It's a 3 second root. it looks like this, and it does a snare on them, 30%. Deals some damage, but that's not the point. We are not concerned about dealing damage as a tank. So this is just the root. You pull everything with the frozen device, then you do this. So basically chains plus talons. But the bad part is talons is obviously better because it has the minor maim on it. The other skill is Expansive Frost Cloak. Sometimes your DDs and healers will go away from you. They'll be far. So the other morph is not so good. And the minor protection is not as good as it sounds because of the diminishing returns. But this thing will hit your allies. The other morph only applies to you, only applies to your allies who happens to be in melee. And it has a very small range. So this is the obvious choice. And in trials, you definitely want this one if you are looking to tank trials. And our ultimate is obviously the Warhorn. But I prefer to use this one because, like for obvious reasons, you can get this in every trash pack. Sometimes you can do this twice in a trash pack. This ultimate will be much better because we are using War Machine. And as I said, this is a pledge tank, so you'll have 2 DDs. So yeah. Okay, that was skills. For the monster set, we're using 1 Shadowrend and 1 Choketorn. Try to get sturdy and heavy armor. Heavy armor is necessary for this build. Just get heavy armor. Just trust me. Every armor has 3-stat enchant, every shield. The second set we are running is Torug's Pact. I think this will get a nerf. I read something yesterday, I think, from one of the devs. They're gonna adjust Torug's Pact or fix something about it because the Oblivion damage enchant is so strong. If this gets nerfed, you can use the Tavas Favor. That's also very good as well. The reason we are using Torug's Pact is, look at this, the Infused Sword with Crusher enchant. Reduce the target's physical and spell resistance by 2700 for 5 seconds. That's very good. That's more than 5%. Not 5. Yeah, actually 5. That's more than 5% damage increase if your DDs are getting the full benefit from the penetration. So that's really good. You can keep this up 100% on 1 target, not more, because Crusher is not AoE. Let's see. And we have the all armor should be sturdy, but this is PTS. I don't get sturdy things. Anyways, the second set we are using is the War Machine. All of them are enchanted with shield play. All of them are robust, increase our stamina, which result in more healing, and 2 medium armor. Try to get belt and gloves because they give the least armor, so you get the full benefit of your heavy armor choices. And as I said, everything is 3-stat because we need the maximum magicka and the maximum stamina. Because maximum magicka increases our healing with Leeching Vines, and maximum stamina increases our healing with Enchanted Forest. So you want both of them with decent numbers. Anyways, try to get everything sturdy. War Machine, Jewelry and 2 armor, Torug's Pact. If this gets nerfed, switch to Tavas Favor. I'll try to update the build. I think they'll make a change on the next patch to Torug's Pact. It seems like it. I don't know why. Anyways, you can use Bloodspawn here, but I think the magic recovery is superior if you are not using the balance skill. So yeah, that's real good. Anyways, let's go to the champion points. Nothing here. We have 75. Arcanist, do not give more, because 25 point for only 1%, that's not very good. We have 100 Shadowrend and 45 Thumbling. You can use fewer points in Thumbling, but because I'm over the jump point here, I didn't have anything else to put my points on, so I just put them here. 75 Blessed, as you see, jump point 14% and 25 Elfborn. And nothing here. Riposte is not so good, don't bother with it. And we have 120 points here for the last stand passive. When you fall below 20% health, you gain major heroism. So we already have a major heroism source with the shimmering shield, but this thing still can proc and still be, it doesn't require projectiles to proc. So yeah, 66 Ironclad, 56 Thick-Skinned, 49 Hardy, 49 Elemental Defender, and that's all. That's for the CP. Well, that's did I miss anything? I'm just checking quickly. The passives, I told you the passives. We talked about race. And by the way, if you want to know how it performs, this is the character I completed both new dungeons in veteran hard mode with. You see the, let me show you. Both in veteran. This is the hard mode for Falkreath Hold, and let's see, this is the hard mode for the Bloodroot Forge. So this character, Warden tank, completed both of them in hard mode, and I must say Bloodroot Forge was really intense fight. So I think Bloodroot Forge is a test for tanks, especially in tankiness, because you get a lot of damage there. Like one heavy attack can hit you 25k through block, and there are 3 things that does that. So this tank can handle it. Yeah. And there is one more thing I want to show. It's the, where's that thing? I can't remember it, but anyways, there's a fight called Galchobar. This is a boss, and you need to stand in something, so you get all the damage. There's a small volcano thingy that explodes and does shit ton of damage to everyone. And if you don't stand inside it as a tank, someone will die. So, and that thing hits you for a lot of damage. So this tank is tanky enough to tank every pledge in this game. It has amazing sustain. It gives amazing support. It gives a lot of healing. Like, I'm talking about serious healing here. During pledges, during every boss fight, my healing was like, there is a healer, right? Dedicated healer in the group, and my healing was always almost 20% of the total healing. So as a tank, with like, you're actually taunting and stuff, you have only 2 healing skills, and if you don't count this one, that's a pretty amazing percentage for the healing. And I didn't have this. I was using the Structed Entropy. if I had this, that would be even more healing. So, but I used this skill as well. I think this is better if you are not perma blocking. But as I said, the best of best is this. By the way, I didn't explain the war mission. Let's do that quickly. The older thing you want is the 2-piece, 4-piece, and the 5-piece maximum stamina weapon damage skills with your ultimate healing. And the good thing is this: when you use an ultimate ability, you and the closest 2 allies within 28 meters gain Major Slayer for 10 seconds, increasing your damage down to dungeon and trial monsters by 15%. So make sure the healer is away from you, or the DDs are closer to you than healer is. So you give them the Major Slayer. You can keep at least 60% uptime without the Invigorating Drain on the Major Slayer. That's insane amount of Major Slayer uptime. So that's really good. But as I said, for pledges, not trials. In trials, the off tank will be close to you. In some fights, sometimes you like most melee DDs, Stamina Templars, Stamina Nightblades, even Stamina DKs are using War Machine, and if you use your ultimate exact same time they use, it will be wasted. So you want to use this in a pledge, not in a trial. Anyways, of course it can work in a trial. I don't mean it's not viable, but for the reasons I just told, it's not the best. Anyways, thank you for watching. That's all from me. Just tweak this build around. Make sure it's for your play style, not mine. Just don't copy paste it, okay? And as I said one more time, if the Torug spec gets a huge nerf, switch to Tava's favor or Ebon, but you'll have to farm Ebon 1 and shield, so I think Tavas will be better. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you later.